Oh, hello. Welcome along to a live stream. I had a feeling I'd be going live tonight. Welcome along to the reaction. Now, of course, it's not been, a mad summer where like there's been signings left, right, and centre, but it's been a summer of sentimentality so far with Kenny Tete and TC now confirmed to be staying. Welcome along to a live stream. I'm really pleased. I think, do you know what it was? I think the reason why I think this is such a big deal for a lot of people is because of the unknown. It was like, well, hold on, we're playing City at home. He scored against Brentford away, and I was like, hold on a second, is he going? Is he not? Um, Delighted. Let's read out the statement from the club that they put out just a few moments ago. Um, yeah, no, he got me, Steve. He got me. I didn't know whether I had a hunch. I heard some things today about a certain contract being signed. I just didn't know. Change the title. You'll ruin the video for everyone. But it's a live stream. Isn't it a live stream? Oscar, welcome along, everyone. Let's read out the statement put out by the club. Yeah, it was one of them ones, wasn't it? We just didn't know. I heard, obviously my mum saw him at Wimbledon yesterday. Raul Jimenez was also at Wimbledon yesterday, but he's not due back to pre-season for I think at least a week or so because of his international. That's the same maybe with Luke de Fougeroles and a couple more players as well. Actually, it might just be Luke actually because he played in the Gold Cup, whereas King played in the under. King's already back anyway. Right, let's have a look from the club. We are delighted to announce that Tom Cairney has signed a new one-year deal with the club. The news comes not long after the 10-year anniversary of Cairney first joining Fulham and follows a season which saw him surpass 350 appearances for the club. Our club captain was in pre-season training on Monday as he gets ready for an 11th campaign in black and white, one in which he will look to add to his 47 goals, 38 assists for Fulham. I mean, what a legend. What a legend. A quote from TC. I've fully enjoyed the last 3 years in the Premier League, contributing on and off the pitch, and I just want to help take this club as far as I can, and I'll always try and do that. Tony Khan added, I'm delighted that TC has signed an extension with Fulham and that he will play his 11th season with us since joining the club in 2015. A leader on and off the pitch, Tom has been present at so many pivotal moments over the last decade, enjoying playoff promotions, scoring vital, sometimes spectacular goals, and helping to cement our position in the Premier League. He is a great person who the fans, his teammates, and all associated for Fulham love. So I am very happy he'll be with us for another season and that we can celebrate this remarkable tenure together as a club. Congratulations to Tom and come on Fulham. I need to actually write a piece, don't I? Bloody hell. I need to write a piece for West London Sport. Let me try and okay, I won't go live for too long then. I'll have to get on with that. Welcome along. Yeah, so let's go through some of the comments. Hell yeah, maybe the start of things to come, hopefully. Umberto, great news. Looking forward to the wedding, mate. Yes, says Ashley. Build the statue, of course. Only one TC is acting in that video. Change the title. We're in the video for everyone. It's a live stream. From Wimbledon to Fulham. Yes. Well done, Mum. That was a good spot. Now just give us the home kit so I can finally get my TC shirt. Absolutely. I can't express how happy I am with the news. Surely he gets a testimonial after this season. There wouldn't be a dry eye in the ground at full time of that. Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, we'll find out, later on in the campaign. I'm sure towards the end of the campaign. I don't even know I'm thinking about it right now, but that he will, will it be the last season of him? We don't know, but let's not think about that now. Let's think about the fact that he's going to be here. What does it mean? Does it mean he's an extra squad player? Does it mean he's going to be involved in the squad every single week? Maybe not. It depends on the transfer strategy. It depends on who goes, who stays, and who's brought in towards the end of the window. But it's fantastic news. I mean, it really is. I think it was getting to a point where it was becoming quite uncomfortable, where we were like, surely this is going to be. And look, do you know what I think it is? All this sort of well, he's out of contract now, and maybe it was just the fact that Marco Silva, wanted just to wait for everyone to come back for pre-season. Maybe he spoke to him over the phone a couple of times over the summer. I don't know. Maybe he was like, okay, come in on the first day of pre-season. We'll try and get this contract sorted. You can see all the lads, you can see all the players, all the staff. We'll have a sit down. We'll talk about your role this season. Maybe, I mean, maybe that's the case. If not, then look, there must have been some negotiation over the summer about wage and about bonuses or whatever. I don't know. Whatever goes into a contract. Maybe there was some haggling on both sides. One thing is clear, and I'm not even. This is a guess, but I'm sure that both parties wanted TC at Fulham. Both parties. Silva would have wanted him around. He doesn't want to leave. You don't want to leave the club in the way that it would have looked like he would have left, i.e. just sort of a lap of honour against Manchester City. Okay, great. He scored against Brentford and stuff. That was fantastic. But it didn't feel like there was an official goodbye. Nothing from like Ivan Berry, nothing from the club out like leading up to the game. So it was all very much up in the air. And over the summer, I was hearing, yes, he's staying. No, he's leaving. Yes, he's staying. No, he's leaving from various people. And I was trying to get the lowdown. And look, he's here and he's perfect. And 11th season is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary. Tenure, a game of football where, you look at a number of deals that have been done this summer and, people are saying, oh, there's no loyalty in football. Oh, Peter Rutzler. Peter Rutzler with the tweets. Who watched that video and was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's he going to say? I think it was quite clear that he was going to put pen to paper as soon as he started talking. As much as I appreciated the suspense, I think it was that James reposted this stream. Oh, thank you, James. Thank you. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased. I'm sure everyone is. I'll probably stay online for maybe another 20 minutes and we could talk through some other stuff as well. But what's everyone's reactions? I mean, everyone's delighted. No one wants to see a club legend leave, as a free agent and just sort of his contract runs out and then that's it. There was always going to be another story. There was always going to be another chapter in the world of TC. Do I think he's going to play 38 games next season? No. Do I think he's going to make appearances and make a difference to the team? Yes. And that's vitally important. Let's not forget the fact, that people are like, oh, we need to refresh the midfield a little bit, get someone in. TC's a quality player. And we saw it in the last game of the season against City. He was arguably our best player. He was fantastic. And then he comes on and against Brentford. Did he come on? Yeah, he came on against Brentford and scored. This guy can still do it at this level. The Wrexham thing was a smokescreen. Mike McGrath came out and said it was going to be a record fee. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because he's on a free transfer. And it was edited, to be fair. I think someone pointed that out. I think that was a bit of a smokescreen. It was a little bit of, bit of pressure on the club maybe. And look, I'm sure TC will be playing games of football for Fulham and still slipping into his punchy role at Sky Sports. I think that's a perfect fit for him. And we've already seen him do that for 1 or 2 seasons now, and he's been brilliant at doing it. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure he sort of fits that model, fits that profile of a player who is, a bit of a lad's lad. He's got a few good stories to tell. And he fits perfectly on that sort of Soccer Saturday or Soccer Special sort of environment. But he also belongs on the pitch at Craven Cottage. He also belongs on the pitch at Craven Cottage. And I think it's really important that not only he's there for on the pitch matters, but off the pitch as well. Given, when I spoke to him last season and we asked about Josh King, and because he's the up and coming man, isn't he? And, he said all the right things. This is Sessegnon actually said this is the best club for him to be at, but TC said his quality and what he can bring on the pitch and stuff, and the sort of player that Josh King is. And I think this is a season that's huge for Josh. But I'm just absolutely delighted that we've managed to get this one over the line. And it was day one of pre-season was like yesterday was a bit of testing and stuff. I think it wasn't like on the grass. I think today was more on the grass stuff maybe, or perhaps they had 2 days of fitness and stuff. I'm not sure. And obviously Iwobi, Fulham Bone, who is one of my favourite Fulham accounts out there. He's absolutely excellent. Please follow Fulham Bone on Twitter. He's fantastic. And he basically said, I bet we see a bit of TC being leaked via Iwobi Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat. So I was basically relying on someone to post it if something was happened. Of course, a lot of kids have Snapchat, so they put it up on Twitter. And there it was in plain sight. Not only was it like TC's sort of name on his dressing room, in the dressing room, and then like a kit on his seat, but it was more of the club just tweeted again. They have staying in SW6. You'd love to see it. That's taken. Is that at the cottage? Yeah, I think that's at the cottage. I think it looks like that's in the Riverside stand. And then of course, and then he's sitting there in the canteen having his lunch. So look, I mean, he was at Wimbledon yesterday, day one of pre-season. Was he at Boxburg Park before and then went to the final? Maybe, not sure. Um, my mum texted me saying, well, she posted this photo. She didn't actually. She posted it without comment, and I was like, hold on. I actually had to look at it a few times, and be like, is that actually TC? Because the sunglasses, I was like, he looked like a movie star. I mean, he's very dapper and very well dressed. But yeah, the movie star TC. And yeah, I'm just delighted, really delighted that he's here. It wouldn't feel like a proper goodbye if that was the end. And look, does that mean testimonial? I mean, by law or by footballing law, not official law, but by like by the rules of football. No, hold on, I'm not making any sense. By what we've seen previously from other clubs, when a player has surpassed 10 years at a club, he gets a testimonial. And I think that there's definitely, there's so many players who could come back and play in that testimonial. Players like Matt Smith. I know he's very close with like Dean Windass. It could be like a Fulham 11, and then it could be like Stephanie Hansen, Kevin McDonald, players like that, like players gone by, Ryan Fredericks. I know he's very close with a lot of those players in that 2018 season, the promotion season under Slavisa. Would he bring back Slavisa to? Oh, that's a possibility. He could bring back Slavisa to manage the other team. I mean, that would be fantastic. I mean, that really, we have very special nights at the cottage before. We obviously just games and rivalries and derbies and European nights and down the years. But imagine like a day or an evening kickoff where we got all the band back together from like 2018. Ollie Norwood maybe. It's like a Fulham 11 versus like TC, like friends of his. What exactly is a testimonial? It's basically a game which celebrates the career of one player. So usually it's like an 11 of the team that he's playing for, i.e. Fulham, so like current players, versus like a team of like ex-players and like friends of him. Like he's very close with Dean Windass. Am I saying that right? Do I mean Dean Windass? Isn't Dean Windass the father? It's his son, isn't it? His son. I can't remember his name now. The one who plays for Sheffield Wednesday. Anyway, and yeah, so that would be an amazing occasion. I mean, I don't know when that would happen. I don't know when that would be scheduled for, given the hectic nature of the football season. Probably at the end of the season, so like 2026. But what an occasion that would be. I mean, that would be just very emotional, very fun. I think it would pack out the whole ground. I think there would be no empty seats. I think it'd be a fantastic. Josh Windass. Thank you, Joe Ryan. Thank you. And I'm glad that you're watching. I need to just quickly check if West London posts anything. Otherwise, I need to write something because I was meant to write a piece today, but I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be announced tonight. That was a little bit silly from me. Let's go through more comments. Part of me was worried these leaked images were of him just training with the club as a favour whilst his contract was up, whilst he looked for a new club. Yeah, that was definitely a scenario that was realistic. Are we the only club to not lose a single first team player so far? I think that's a really good topic of conversation. Like we're seeing kudos to Spurs, Yao Pedro go to Chelsea. Don't care for what they did last night, whatever. And look, Fulham, as of yet, apart from Willian and Vinicius, who are out of contract, haven't lost anyone, haven't gained anyone, but haven't lost anyone. And everyone's saying, oh, yeah, we're going to get relegated, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not. That's a team that finished 11th in the table. But I really want Reece Nelson back. I really, really want him back. And there's starting to be a little bit more in terms of news around Reece Nelson. Bournemouth are interested. I hear he wants to stay in London. Palace are there as well. Then, obviously, Arsenal want Eze, so they could throw in Nelson as part of the deal. So Fulham would have to really, put in a... I mean, the thing is, I think Fulham have got a bit of an advantage over the Reece Nelson situation because we had him here last season. Marco Silva will say to him, look, if you stay injury-free and we'll help you in the training pitch to stay injury-free, you're going to be a huge part of this. And he would be. I mean, the other day, I was watching the extended highlights from the game against Crystal Palace. and he was phenomenal. Crystal Palace away, I should say, where we won, and he was phenomenal. He was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that is fantastic news, guys. I think I'm going to actually have to leave it there because I know I have to write this piece, and I don't want to piss off my boss. So I think I might leave it there. I hope to be doing more live streams. I know I said like every few days, but nothing's happened. So yeah, I think a quick reaction is probably the best because I think this should be solely about TC. We'll round it off by saying absolutely delighted. Cannot wait to see him again next season, be part of the squad. And today I booked my flights out to Portugal, so looking forward to that. Disappointed missing the Forest game, but hopefully we'll be there for an apparently second game. They haven't announced it yet, but I believe there's going to be a second game out there. If not, that's just going to be a holiday. I'll just treat it as a holiday. Thank you so much for watching. One more year for Tom Cairney. So I'm guessing that first game against Man United at home, as in the first home game, or even the Frankfurt game, get all those songs ringing around the cottage. He'll really appreciate that. I'm sure Fulham fans will do it. Fulham fans' relationship with Tom Cairney is one of the most special things I've ever seen in football. I think it's really, really important. He is Mr. Fulham. You know, there will be no other man like him. You know, to have 11 years or an 11th season at a club where there's no loyalty in football whatsoever these days, apart from the fans, and very, very sporadically some players will do that. Mark Noble, you think of Mark Noble, Stevie Gerrard, and TC. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Fulham, giving us a bit of dopamine this evening. Thank you so much for watching, and we will speak again hopefully later this week. Subscribe to Patreon for more content, £5 a month, and it's great fun over there. Thank you so much for watching, and ain't no body like Tom Cairney, eh? Let's go.